Evening everyone, welcome to the next of our Sunday evening Sharing Our Lives videos. Hope this finds you well wherever you're watching along this evening. Over the summer months we are recording a series of Zoom interviews with some of the folks from our Great Vic family, and we're just hearing a bit about their lives, about their story into faith, how they came to know Jesus, and about what's particularly precious to them in their relationship with God. This evening we're hearing from Heather Manley, so as you watch along, I trust you'll enjoy this. And as always, if there's anything that speaks to you in a particular way and you'd like to follow up with us, do get in touch via our website or our Facebook page. We'd love to just follow up with you and encourage you in the Lord. So enjoy the video and enjoy the rest of your evening afterwards. God bless. Okay, Heather, thank you so much for being willing to do this interview with us this evening as part of our little Sharing Our Lives series. Can we just start with you sharing a bit about yourself? Tell us who you are, where you're from, what you do. Who is Heather Manley?
Of course, yes. My full name is Heather Louise Manley. Some people watching this might actually know me as Nakato, which means the youngest female twin in Uganda. Uganda. But yes, that's me. I live in Dundonald in Northern Ireland, and I work as a midwife in the Ulster Hospital. I've done that for 4 years, and that's a journey in itself of how God brought me to midwifery. But that's me. I'm in a family of 5, my mum and dad, and then my twin sister and an elder sister, Jenna. So that's a wee bit about me.
Yeah. And so along the way, during your life, you've come to know the Lord, you've become a Christian, put your faith in Jesus. Can you share with us a little bit of that journey? How did that happen? How did it come to be?
Yeah, no, definitely. So I have all my life, I've had an understanding of God. Was brought up, and my parents brought me up teaching me Bible stories and praying with me and helping me from a very young age learn about the truth in the gospel. And I really appreciate that. Through my journey as a child, I had loads of people feeding truth into my life through Sunday school, through my grandparents, just through lots of different routes. So I'm very thankful for the knowledge I had as a young age. So I would say that I had an understanding of the gospel and a knowledge of the gospel very, very young. But it wasn't until I was a wee bit older that I had a very special experience that really probably made me more committed to my faith and a real deeper understanding of what it meant to be a Christian and to serve God. And that was a summer camp I was on when I was just 12 years old. And I was very young and naive, and I was having a lot of fun, and we had a lovely leader who was so kind and gracious and patient with us as we followed her everywhere all the time. And one day I was having fun, and I was looking for her, and it was just free time, and I found her sitting on some steps outside in this lovely weather when everyone else was having fun, and she was just reading her Bible. And to me that was a moment of, why would she choose to sit on her own and read the Bible while everyone else was having fun in the sun? And to me, that week at that summer camp made me understand that the special time we spend understanding the Bible and that intimate relationship that we have with Jesus is what it's all about. So I understood the sin and the problem of sin in my life. I understood that Jesus was the only way to save me from that, and I believed that he lived and died and rose again, and I understood that. But it wasn't, and I had asked for forgiveness at a very young age, and accepted Jesus to help me live for him. But it wasn't until that time when I was about 12 that I realized, actually, this is personal, this is intimate, and I want this. So that week was a very big week for me, and understanding and asking questions and watching leaders and other young people learning what that looked like. And I found a lot of joy and peace in that. And then through my later teens, there was a verse that stood out to me that I learnt. It was Joshua 1 verse 9, and it said, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. And I clung to that verse when I grew up, and that was a real strength for me. And I really enjoyed spending time learning about God. And that's helped me a lot as well as I've kind of journeyed up in the years.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's kind of how I got there, and kind of how I've developed. There's been a lot of ups and downs and a lot of learning along the way, but that's just a brief overview of the story.
Yeah, I know, it's wonderful. It's lovely to hear that Christian upbringing, and then there, that time you really just owned and came into the fullness of what it really meant to walk with God, which is just cool. Along the way, you'll have learned, as you said, you'll have had ups and downs, learned a lot of lessons. If you were to just share with us one particular thing, truth, or something about your walk with God, or your understanding of the gospel, that's particularly precious to you that you've learned along the way, what would that be, Heather?
Yeah. When I was preparing to think about this, I found this really difficult. I have to say this question, because there's been so much that I've really cherished about God over the years, and learnt about, and it would be easy to sit here and just list all the characteristics of God, but when I was thinking about it, it made me really look back over the years to see what has really touched my heart. And I would say a big one would be something that really hit me about 3 years ago, and it was through a song. I feel very blessed by worship music, and the song was called Known, by an artist called Terren Wells, and the key line that I've enjoyed listening to and learnt from is the line that says, "I'm fully known and loved by you." And that's beautiful, but it's also challenging, the idea of God knowing me totally, all the good but also the bad.
Yeah.
And knowing my attitudes and what's in my mind that people might not see, that it's not pleasing to God. And the idea of that unconditional love, of still knowing all that, but still choosing to love me so completely, has just touched me so much. It's been such a beautiful thing for me, especially in the last 3 years, to really understand that. And I've always understood and believed that God loves me, and He knows me, and He knows every hair in my head, and He knows my future and my past, and He knows my desires, and He cares for me. But 3 years ago, it went deeper. It was an understanding of, wait, He knows me, but yet He still loves me.
Yeah.
And that real almost like undeserved on my side, love was what's kind of hit me in the last few years. I would treasure and really find very precious about God's character, that unfailing and undeserved unconditional love.
Yeah, it's wonderful. There's something it gives you such security, doesn't it? That knowing God sees, knows all, and yet He loves us. So many of our relationships were fearful. If someone really sees and knows what I think about this or that, they may not like me anymore, and yet God sees the fullness and loves us. I really resonate with that. There's another song by it. I think I can't remember who it is, but there's a line, you see the depths of my heart and you love us the same. You are amazing, God. Is it a Chris Tomlin song?
I'm not very good at artists.
No, that's wonderful. Yeah, Heather, it's just so lovely to hear a little bit about your story, and to hear just that preciousness of being known by God and what that means to you. And hopefully for anyone listening along, they'll hear that. That'll just encourage them as well. Thanks so much for being willing to share a little bit of your life with us. We really appreciate it, Heather.
No problem. Thank you.